Welcome back to the Mix Table, Season 3, guest number 2. We are in the studio today with Michael Aristotle. Tyrone, yes. How are you doing today? You feeling good?
I'm feeling pretty good,
you
man.
Ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right, give it to him.
You know how it is when I hop on these beats. People gather around, wanna listen to me speak. I just give them the word like I'm making a speech. If Aristotle by my side, that makes me Socrates. In Brooklyn or Cali, it's no biggie. Cause when these other rappers, they can't fuck with me. Trying to keep up, I know it gets tricky. Dudes be catching misdemeanors, it's no missy. But if you miss me, I'll be right back. I was out for delivery down in the cab. I was putting in the work so I could be really him. Trying to hit it big, no mega millions. You know how it goes. I go off the top when I hit these flows. So tell all my bros that's just how it goes. Now hello everyone and welcome to the show. Woo! How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Mix Table. I am your host, Tyrone McClendon. Once again, I am joined. Oh, please. I am your host, Tyrone McClendon. Once again, I'm joined by my co-host, my best friend, my DJ, my producer, Mr. Young Seppi himself, Mr. Joseph Middledorf.
What's up to all the beautiful people out there? Thank you once again for joining us here on the Mix Table. I say it every time, but we got a good one in store for you today.
Love it. And as you can see here by my side, I have the great, the wonderful, the majestic, the man himself, Mr. Michael Aristotle. Give it up for him. Give it up. Thank you. Michael, my man, thank you so much for coming down here, man. I really appreciate it. When you told me you came all the way from Sandy Springs, I'm like, oh no, this dude's committed.
Yeah. I was road running all morning. Yeah.
If you live in the city, we'll give you some perspective here. He's all the way at the top, and we're all the way at the bottom.
Yep.
And he
came all the way down.
Yeah, that takes something on a Friday at 1, 2. That's the thick of it. But hey, man, I really appreciate you for coming down here. It means a lot.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh man, anytime. Did you like that in the beginning though? I wanted to make it a little personal for you. Threw a little Easter eggs here.
No,
and there.
you did, and that was amazing, man.
Oh,
that was amazing. That was amazing.
I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Well, like I said, we wanted to have you here because I've been intrigued by you for quite some time now. I believe I came across you through Mr. J. Newton, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like that's how I came across you. And ever since then, I've just been kind of following you, staying up to date and seeing how you've been doing. I'm real interested in people's progressions. So like from where I saw you to where you are now, it's like, oh man, it's really great.
That's crazy.
But like I said, I've already kind of introduced you, but I want to give your word to yourself. So tell the people who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I'm Michael Aristotle. I'm from the East Side. Rap, songwrite, little melodies here and there, bit of everything. So yeah, I create. I'll say that much. Yeah.
Thank you. Would you consider yourself a multi-hyphenate?
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh my God. No,
I guess so.
That was a trick question.
Yeah, I guess so.
I say multi-hyphen. We were saying like it's the new. What do we say? Like if saying you're an influencer is like getting a pack of soda, then saying I'm a multi-hyphenate is like getting a 6-pack.
Yeah, or no, the multi-hyphenate, like, I'm a soda, but if I'm a multi-hyphenate, like, I'm a soda fountain.
There you go.
Yes, I am a multi-hyphenate.
Okay, cool.
Coke and Pepsi on the same machine.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, like I said, we wanted to get you here, though, because I'm very interested in, your story and how you got to where you are and your dreams of where you're going and things like that. So off the bat, let's just start from the very beginning. Okay. Tell us a little bit. I know you are originally from Brooklyn. Yeah. Took the trip down to the South. Mm-hmm. Just talk about that. How did those humble beginnings?
Wow. So I left New York when I was, I think 6. Yeah, I like 6 years old. Pretty much we came to Florida first, but we were there for like a year and a half. And my pops was like, yeah, I'm thinking about moving to Atlanta. And, so we moved there. My parents moved us there to Atlanta, and I stayed on the East Side. I stayed in Stone Mountain, then ended up moving to like Ellenwood, and in between Decatur, Lithonia, and kind of from there, I don't know. I didn't even think I was gonna do music either. Like my mom, she was very into like the arts and like Broadway and all of these things. And I was just so shy, you know. It's me and my little brother, but my little brother was more active than me. So she always thought like my brother was gonna be more the active guy, you know, creator or whatever. So when I started rapping and stuff, she was like, "What? You like this?"
Yeah.
Like I'm so happy you like to do something, you know. So I ended up doing that, and you know, when I was 12, I decided I wanted to, you know, do that, and I loved girls. I would write poems.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, write poems for girls, and I had a way with words, like I guess rhyming them at the time. You know, and when you're at that age, it's just cute.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess.
Now, what do you think? Now, what drew you specifically to rap? Because you know, some guys they go down. I'm gonna learn an instrument or something along those lines, or I'm gonna learn how to sing. What was it about rap, hip hop specifically that you drew to that?
Everybody just looks so cool doing it. You know, everybody just look cool. Like when you're a kid and you know you're looking at the guy who has all the girls and like the chains and all of these things and stuff. And you may not relate to them, but it just looks so dope. You want to
relate to them though.
You want to relate to them, you know? And yeah, I just thought, man, if I could do anything, it just seems so easy.
Who were some of those early rappers you remember that were just like, these are the archetypes of rappers that I want to be like?
Biggie, first and foremost. That's my favorite rapper of just all time. Then of course, you know, Jay-Z, of course, you know, who did want to be as cool as Jay, you know. But then the more older I got, like I really like Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Q-Tip's voice was just so cool to me. So I was like, yeah.
I've gotten to that too. I've gone back now and refined my taste, I guess, so to speak. And I've started to appreciate Tribe Called Quest now more than I ever did.
Nice.
Doom finally made sense.
Yeah, people like all those people. Yeah.
I turned 24 and all of a sudden I was just like, oh fuck, like he is doing it at
So was there ever like this thing, because you know, you mentioned these mostly northern style raps, you know, when you came down here in the South, what was it like getting attuned to that sound? Like how did that, was it off-putting at first? Was it weird or?
Yeah, well, I guess a little for me, because you know you coming from the north, but I'm still a kid, so I'm still kind of just adjusting to everything in general. And your main focus isn't music, you know, it's just something in the background.
Right.
But you know what was around was like Lil Jon, you know, like Lil Jon when I first got there, like this was right before Lil Jon really took off crazy and took over the town. And then Ludacris, like I just thought everything sounded really cool, but in a weird way, you know, everything sounded dope. Like when you hear like Ludacris Southern Hospitality, it's like, you know, Pharrell did that beat, and it's a weird beat if you think about it, but it's fire, you know, it's fire as hell. So everything I heard, you know, I heard Killer Mike before I heard Outkast, and then I don't know, everything was just like Atlanta. I look at it as a magical place. You Don't Have to Call by Usher. They used to play like Ryan Cameron, he used to play the remix on V103 with Ludacris on that one. All of that just sounded dope to me. I'm like, oh, this is what the South is, you know? So yeah, and then I just fell in love with it, you know, Outkast, all their albums. T.I., I wanted to be T.I. one time, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that you know, it definitely does something to you when you come here. It sticks to your ribs like the food. So, but I want to ask you this. You know, you moved around. You know, you lived in Brooklyn, Florida, Atlanta. Did you live in California for a while?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay, I must be confusing you with someone else. Cut that out. But you've lived all these different places. Yeah. Which of these places, though, do you consider as your home? Like, I know obviously you live in Atlanta, but do you still feel like, well, New York is where my people are, so that's where I am, or, you know?
I always felt like Atlanta, because I didn't go back to New York as much as often. Like I could literally count on one hand how many times I've been back since a kid. So I never felt right like repping like New York. It's like, dog, I haven't been there for a long set of time. I haven't stayed there for a full week. So yeah, I never felt right. I didn't want to feel like I was like, you know, what they say, set tripping. And you know how they used to say set tripping and stuff like that. So yeah, I rep where I grew up. You know, still love New York, and everything there, my roots and stuff like that, all the music. But yeah, I grew up here. I experienced everything in life here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Me and Joe were having this conversation about, like, you know, a lot of times people try to dissociate themselves from the things that they're not.
Yeah.
But it's like the things you are not are just as much a part of you as the things you are.
Yeah.
You know? And
That's like, as I just keep getting older, the more I see like just the whole idea, like the yin yang, like you're yourself, but you're the opposite of yourself as well. And the farther that you push one way, it's circular. You're pushing yourself around the loop.
Yeah.
Running from shit never works.
yeah.
You can't shake your shadow.
And I say that though only because in, like, you know, as you consider yourself an Atlanta native, like this is your home.
Yeah.
I still hear that New York influence,
absolutely.
you know, and things like that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody does.
Yeah, and your
everybody
favorite
does.
rappers are still these legends. So I just think that's interesting, and, like, you know, to be like, well, that's not my home, but it is still very much a part of who I am and things like that.
And
so
what shaped a lot of things that I love, you know.
So talk to me a little bit about, you know, you said you started with poetry really more so, but what was that process like when you were were you like a natural poet? Were you just like, these are my thoughts and this is how they come? Or was it a little more like, was there intention behind it in the beginning?
I guess that's a good question.
I'm full of them.
I think for me, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to like seem cocky or anything, but I think I was like a natural poet in a sense. Cause I was like, wait, that's all you do? Like, oh, time, dime, mine. I was like, that's easy. I can do that, you know?
When you put it like that?
Yeah, so I would, and whenever I would do a poem when I was a kid, it would be about a girl, cause chances are I was writing a love letter or something like that. You know, like the roses are red, violets are blue, something like that, them too. Like,
And what was your success rate with these love letters?
See, it was very successful of them like receiving it.
Okay.
You know? But then you kind of forget, okay, you gotta act on that. You gotta stay consistent. When you ain't thinking about consistency.
Yeah, you're like, this is it?
Yeah, this is it.
We did it. We made it. We are here already.
Oh, you like it? Yeah, so that means you like me. No, it does not mean that. It doesn't mean that. So
yeah, I gotta learn them lessons the hard way.
Had to, yeah.
But okay, so when you finally started putting it to music and things like that, was there an adjustment where you like, okay, now I gotta change it so it fits a cadence?
Yeah. Finding different flows and you know, when I heard the game, the documentary, I was like, oh man, he's so personal, like he's getting so deep with his life. And the only thing that was like personal for me at the time, I was like, like kids make fun of my head shape or something like that.
Right.
I said, I'll be rapping, tired of people making fun of me, you know what I mean? like, you know, and when I took it real serious and started putting it to music, then I tried to do like the imposter route, you know, rapping about things you don't have and stuff. Yeah. Using your imagination, which I think people should do. Like, use your imagination, you know? So I did that up until I was probably like 18. And then I started rapping about my life.
Because it's not lying. It's just speaking about the future in the present.
Yeah, you manifest. You're manifesting.
It's real. I mean, I go back and listen to like old Drake songs and I'm like, damn, he said he was going to do all this and he
called
did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. I used to rap about my dad's car. He had like this white like Navigator. So I would rap about like pulling up in a white truck, like, you know, Navigator, whatever, like it's mine or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking in my head, I'm pretty sure when I grow up, my dad's going to give me the car or whatever. Not knowing we're not going to have that car anymore. Like, we're not going to have that truck. So, yeah.
Okay. So, you know, you started messing around a little bit with actually putting it. So when you do write, because this is an interesting conversation we have, you know, me and him, we have very different styles of just like going about actually writing the process.
And like over the summer, we sat down, like he came out to visit me in Portugal, and we sat down and we're trying to write like basically every day. We're gonna come up with content for the mix table. Like every day we're gonna film a video, this and this. And we found out really quickly we write so differently. Like we were writing on the same beat, but we had to write in separate rooms basically, because he likes looping the beat and figuring it out. I like starting at the beginning and I'll run it and I'll figure out one line and then I'll go back to the beginning because I like to make sure it all kind of flows.
That's how I am.
That's how you do it?
I do it a lot like that. Similar,
really?
Very similar.
Interesting.
Like, all right, so when you like the beat is going, right? Okay, two things. One, you don't like to just hear the beat over and over.
Mm-mm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I get lost to where I am.
Exactly.
And because I like to write for the beat. Like,
yes.
Usually I'll start out, I'll find a beat I like, and I'm like, and like I'll sit and record it and be like, this is the flow I want.
I do that.
And then you reverse engineer the words, and you're like, okay, how do I make it
to a thing? Yep. How do I make this word transition into this next line? And then the next line, and then the next line, you know?
That's so interesting to hear that now from both people. Like, because for me, it's like, I feel like I've tried that before where I'm like, all right, I'm going to remember this cadence, this flow, or whatever.
Yep.
But then I don't know. I feel like I get too married to the flow, and then it's just like, now I'm stuck. I don't know where to go from here.
And I've had to do that too, where because you'll just it will be the same thing, and especially back when I first started writing, and I was writing lime, dime, rhyme, but like. So I was doing 8 bars, all with the exact same end rhyme, with the exact same flow every time, and I started rapping like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, it would be too repetitive and stuff. Yeah.
And having to figure out, so that's I try to get on that as well now, where I'm like, okay, I like this flow, this is cool, but let me come up with 2 or 3 more before I even start writing. Yeah, because I want to know. I want to be like, okay, I'm gonna start here, and then it kind of ramps up a little bit, and I end up.
You want to give it a like an end point, like Missy would get on me about that a lot. Like she would be like, yeah, it's dope, but stop being so like, just one like, straight line, like why are you just doing this rhythm? It's like it's tight, but you could take it so many other ways. Like switch to this and then switch to that. Like do that, you know what I mean? And I'll be like, all right. And then it just changed everything for me. Yeah.
And especially like with hooks. We were talking about this last night. That I love, it's the easiest way to write a cool hook. I love when people just like switch the words around. They say something repetitive, and then like the third time you say it backwards. And like just little, and that just comes with time. And because you write the same verse 20 times in a row, and you're like, all right, this is kind of, how can I mix this up a little bit? And
absolutely,
I love picking up those little tricks though, because then you're like,
it's so funny that you say that, because and I wonder if you also go through this too, like because you don't like to hear the beat over and over, but then you'll be writing and you'll come up on 2 bars that are so dope. You're like, hold on, I need to hear this with the beat, and then you keep running it back, and then at some point you're like, all right, man, let me just finish this, because I keep having to start the beat over, rap it, make sure I'm going on the same line, but when you finish it, that feeling is just.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to like verbalize it. Yeah. It's almost for me like when I'm hearing the beat, I think like it's almost like I can hear the words in my head. I just need to lock them in. And if the beat keeps stopping and starting, it's like, damn, I keep losing my place. Like I'm trying to.
And that's the exact thing that happens to me though when the beat keeps going. That I'm trying to focus on what I want to say, and I got this stupid beat just in my head all the time, and I lose. I'm like, oh, I had it. I had the flow. I knew exactly the words.
You could play it in your head too, over and over. Yeah, you could play it.
I get, because if I go back and try to like, I'm gonna say the whole verse, and then when I get to this line, by the time I get back to the line, I'm like, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But different things for different folks. Now, has it always been that for you? Have you tried any? Because I'll tell you this: when I first started writing, what I would do is I would literally take verses that are already like I took Biggie's first verse on on Hypnotize, and I literally just like plugged in my own words, kept his same flow, the same everything, the same rhyme scheme, but I just plugged in my own words.
It for you.
Yeah. So did you have any like little things you did in the like before you got to where you are in writing? Like, did you have any weird things you did?
Yeah, I think I would do that for you know how people like a remix a song.
Yeah.
What I would do is I'll just remix like how they said the hook, how they said the verse and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, make my own things. But I think I would change the lines a little bit more. But that was my process before I started writing like original songs.
Yeah, and I think it honestly helps because it gives you. It's almost like you're shadowing a rapper.
Yes.
Like you see,
absolutely.
like, oh, okay, like I see how we switched flows here. I see how the rhyme schemes connect here and things like that.
And that, well, because we talked about this too last summer. Is what I would do is I would just go and memorize other people's songs.
Yeah.
Like I would go and be like, I would do that with so many Wayne verses. I was like, how the fuck did he get I love his shit where he's got like a metaphor or he's got some wordplay, and the thing in the middle is the bridge between the two.
Yeah.
Like
We're getting into some real rap nerd shit right now.
No, it's real.
I love it.
Whatever that bar is in the middle is a play on this, and then it leads into a play on the next one. And I was like, it was magic to me.
Like Drought, come on. Drought 3, Drought, come on, man. You know?
Classic era stuff.
He was just spazzing.
Goated. So I want to talk a little bit about how when things started to form, when things started to come together. So first, I think an important step in all of this journey was you meeting Willie Hendrix.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just talk about that whole connection and how that came about.
I met him 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade, Salem Middle School, off Panola. And it was like a morning, and we were the only 2 kids by our lockers. That morning, I just was going to my locker, he was going to his, and he was like, hey, what's up, man? They call me so-and-so. I'm like, oh, man, that's like real nice. Like, cool, because kids are usually like terrible. So in middle school, like, kids is terrible as hell. So I'm like, oh, man, you so cool. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm so-and-so. And then we were just cool from there, but we didn't do music until high school, because I started recording myself on a headset, on a software, Audacity.
Shout out Audacity.
Yeah, shout out Audacity. And I started burning CDs. And one day I had let him hear it, because he was like, yo, I heard you rap now and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I be making, mixtapes. Let him hear it, and he was like, oh, this is dope. And he didn't have his equipment yet. So, he lived in the same neighborhood as Zaytoven, in which I would end up growing up in that neighborhood too. And so he was about to switch schools. He was about to go to Arabia Mountain High School right when they built it. And he said, yo, like, man, I really like your raps. He was like, I really like your raps, bro. Like, for real. And, man, I want you to, like, really work with me, man. And, I'll make the beats, or, like, I can engineer. I got equipment now. I got a mic. I got all, like, just come through. So I came through that summer, and from there, he's been recording me ever since. So he's been recording me since 2009. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
The one thing I love about your story, it is that it is such a story that only can exist with males. That it's just like, we literally just saw each other in the hall and we became bros. Like,
I was like, what's up, man? Like, what's up?
Yo! It's just like
that's a cool dude.
Yeah. Because I was gonna ask, like, that's a very common thing. Men just see each other, we get familiar, and it's like, that's my dude over there. That's my man.
That's the homie.
Yeah.
That's the homie.
But, it's just a thing. But what do you think? What was it that actually drew you guys? Because before the music even came into the question, like, what do you think it was that you guys, like, connected on?
Because we was, like, positive. We were, like, we grew up as, like, nice kids, and, of course, you gonna defend yourself and
right,
shit like that. But we were just genuinely, like, we was not mad all the time. We weren't mad and stuff like that. And me, I was going through my own things as a kid and, like, family stuff, but he was just like a very positive dude. And I'm like, man, I'm just trying to be positive. Like, I'm just trying to be, cool. And once we were in high school, he was like, yo, you take this very serious. Like, I want to take this very serious too. So we were just, our minds was like, yo, we got to get out of here and really do something big. Like, we were just on the same thing. We hardly went to any, like, football games, parties, or anything. We were just so focused on music in high school that it just was like, yo, we challenging each other to be great. We just want to be great. We want to see each other be great. We wasn't letting anybody slack, even around us. It's on you to mess up, really. So yeah.
That's the beautiful thing. We just had Anwar on from Lotus yesterday, and he was talking about just understanding that we were all on the same wavelength. Like, everyone around me had direction and goals. So even if they weren't necessarily the same, we were all like, we're gonna help pull each other up. And that just seems to be a common theme with just, like, this whole thing that is.
Absolutely.
Because it's impossible to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you get some people around you that are really lit, you're like, oh shit.
That's the Atlanta music scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
And I think part of just growing up around here, everybody here thinks they can do it because they've watched so many people around them do it. But that shit's infectious.
It is.
Believing in yourself.
Yes.
Like, as somebody who's just recently started believing in myself, it's really cool. Like,
it's very cool.
Like, everything feels possible, and you're like, oh shit. Like, I could just go do this. Like
Absolutely.
I could just go whatever. And
yeah, because there's times that I don't, you know, like I totally relate. Like there's times I really don't. And you know, Willie will be there, or like one of like my bros and stuff like that. It'll be like, yo, like keep it going. Like, I got you. You know what I mean? Like we here. So sometimes it does take other people than you too. Yeah, simple as that.
So I'm interested, like, how did you guys compliment each other? Like, what kind of worker do you consider yourself? And then how did Willie compliment that?
So I could go back like the first day when I went there to record. I'm like 16, and I already had the beat and stuff. So gave him the beat. I only had one beat on me that day, and I got it from SoundClick. You know, if people remember SoundClick, and recorded it. I did it in one take to like kind of impress him. Like, yo, I really like do this. You know, 16 like bullshit. And then he was like, all right, what's the next one? And I was like, got it like another like joint you could pull up or something. He was like, yo, I'll throw like any joint on or whatever, because he didn't have too many beats at the time. So he would just like song after next, song after next, song after next. So it was kind of forcing me to like right on the spot if I didn't have anything, you know. And from that day on, once he started producing, we were just locked in. He would be like, yo, what if you change that line, or what if you change this part of the song? You might be a little too rappy on this part of the song. Yo, like, it's okay to like make it a little simple to make, you know. He was very, because aside from producing, he's also great at engineering too. So an engineer could like vocally produce you. You know, oh, your voice, it came in too high on this part. He was constructing a lot of my stuff. You know, like he really dissected a lot of stuff. So he's like a mad scientist.
And because there's a big difference between like writing songs and rapping. Like they're two different. They're two completely different skills.
Two different things.
And I know you had the problem too. You want to, once you get over the rhyme, lime, dime, then you get in the rippity rap. Like let me start saying some shit, and you still aren't saying anything. You're just using a lot of words.
Don't get started on the hook.
And I think that's really there's a couple that have managed to just like I'm the best rapper that's ever lived, and it doesn't matter that this song is not that good, like because what I'm saying is insane.
It'd be like 5 minutes long.
But the ones that have the longevity, the ones that really blow up, are the ones that are able to take that rapping and turn it into like a complete song. Like that's I really love the, like, I don't know, the sort of wave of people that have last 20 years or so like have been adding, like I sing too, like I sing while I rap, and I can move in and out. Like right now I'm real percussive, like there's no melody here, but then we get to the bridge or something, and I'm like I'm gonna take you on this little journey. And music's so fucking cool, man.
It's just so many things you can do.
So many things to cut into.
So at this time, because you guys are spending a lot of time together, I mean, you guys even work together too? Like, you guys are working at the same place? You guys are going...
we worked a few of the same jobs too.
So it seemed like the synergy was just... It kind of just came pretty simple.
That added to it,
So you guys were like, all right, let's go hard. Let's take this serious. What did that mean? At what age are you at this time?
This is right at like 18. Because now we were getting to a point where we could, you know, really perform now and stuff like that. Go to shows and venues and stuff, because, you know, we're still a little young to get in the bars and all of that. So
Talk about Art Institute of Atlanta. How big of a role was that?
Jesus Christ, that was a huge role in our lives, because we went to Sandy Springs, and that's why I know the area now, because we was out there. We dropped out like second semester, but we were just free from everybody, you know? Like, it was me, Willie, the bro half, you know, the kid half, HQ Jones, Irie was out there.
And these guys just came along just naturally through the journey?
So we all went to the same, so aside from me and Willie, everybody else, we kind of met around senior year.
Okay.
And we all was like so cool already that we was like, yo, like, let's go to, y'all thinking about going to Art Institute too? Yeah, let's do it. So we all ended up going to the same college, all dropped out around the same time, because we knew what we wanted to do. And Willie and Half had like the apartment style like dorm. They still had 2 other roommates, but they told me and HQ, they was like, look man, we cool, so y'all could just, since we going to the same school, y'all just come up here, stay on the you sleep on the floor, the couch, whatever. And we was just all in there making music in one crib, free from everybody. This is like the first time everybody smoking and everybody drinking. I'm still not drinking at this time, until like I dropped out. But yeah, it played a huge role because you're just growing up, you're being free.
I love these type of college stories, it's because it doesn't have to always be, I went I bust my ass to graduate 4 years and get that degree, blah, 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 blah. But I'm wanting it to be normalized now that it's like, college doesn't have to just be used for that piece of paper. It's learning all these other soft skills and things like that.
And I think that used to kind of be the idea, aside from like excluding poor people from getting jobs, like the point of college is what they were selling to you is you come here and you learn about yourself. And because I remember I listened to my parents talk about and my grandpa talk about what he did in college, and it's like, yeah, you would go and you would take some classes and you didn't really know what you were doing and you change your mind a bunch of times. Or my dad would talk about like, I had room in my schedule, so I was like, let me take a whatever class. And I'm looking at my college experience and I was like, there was not a single hour I had a semester where I could do something fun. Like it was just grind. Yeah. And I really, again, I'm speaking from other people's memories, but I feel like it didn't used to be that way. I don't
think so.
That what you're talking about, that used to be the point. You were there, you find yourself, you find the things. That's where you got exposed to shit that you didn't know for the first time. People that didn't grow up in your town, that didn't grow up in your state, that you met someone from Seattle that knew about fishing and they're like, shit, I'm from Kansas. I don't know anything about fishing. That's crazy.
And then you would probably meet that Seattle person who's like, yo, you are weird. Like, are all Seattle people like weird like this too?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
That's real. That's real. So you guys all connect, Art Institute of Atlanta, and you're like, all right, but it's still like there's bigger and better things on the horizon. We know.
I only know like probably 2 times somebody did homework. So
11:59.
Oh crap.
So you guys decide when does the idea of the East Chain come together? How does that start? Who throws it out there first, and then where does it go from there?
So that happens early 2013. We were already kind of like a crew or whatever. We dropped out like March, April 2012. So into the next year, one day I get in Willie's car, we go into his sister's baby shower, and he was like, yo man, I don't really know how to get into this game, but I want to like come in like on our own stuff. Like I want to have my own label. And I was like, I'll sign. It's like, I'll sign to you, man. Like, I believe in you too, man. I'll do it. He was like, all right, cool, man. Come up with a name. I'm like, so I was like, oh, snap. We finna make a crew? Like a real like label? All right, let's do it. So the whole baby shower, when I should be enjoying, like family and everybody was like, I'm just in the back room like, yo, what should the name be? like what is it? Names. Like what is the name? So
because you had your own baby you were worried about. I don't give a fuck about the one at the shower.
It was, his sister, who was like my sister too, is like their baby shower. And everybody, I'm seeing everybody, hey, what's up, y'all? And in the back of my mind, about to have a label. Like, what is the name? So East for East Side, that's where we grew up. Chain for Golden Chain Drive, where we also kind of grew up and started making music, and so I just put together like East Chain, and let's go, like let's do it, and everybody just kind of together.
And so, what were the initial what happened? It was just like, we're a label now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that day, I was so hyped that East Chain, I was like, oh, it sound dope. So I went home and I was like making my own art at the time for my own single covers and stuff for like blogs. And then I was like, I need a logo for this. So I used like an anchor. And I was like, oh, we holding the side down. Oh, we holding it down. I was like, oh, we got it, y'all. Let's do it. So that summer, 2013, we're like, all right, East Chain. We every day, me, Willie, and my homie Dre Biggs, we would get in a car. We made these East Chain business cards and stuff, and we would go around. We would go to Little Five and just hand them out. Hey, we do music. This to SoundCloud where you could get everything like East Chain, which I was only on there at the time. Like Half and Q, they officially came in because they had some other like business stuff going on.
Yeah.
So they came in like later on at 2013, and yeah, we was passing out business cards every weekend. And I would say East Chain in all my raps, all my songs. So it kind of started as my name would grow, like East Chain would also grow too. I was like I guess I started as like a face for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's funny you mentioned that. Like, I realized it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
Now it is. But when I started, I realized I was saying my name in like literally every single song.
Yeah.
Every single song, at some point I had a bar literally about myself.
Not yourself.
And I was like, okay, well, let me lean into that because I don't know, at some point something's gonna pop.
Yep.
And I want whatever that thing is, I want to make sure my name is in. So I'm gonna put my name in literally every single song at some point.
Yeah, because you're a brand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's which is just crazy to operate as. I feel like people didn't. The majority of people didn't used to be like that.
No.
In social media, everybody's a brand now.
It makes you a brand. Like you have an at name. You have a, you know.
Yeah, and you might not even have anything you're promoting. It's like I'm Kevin.
Yeah.
But you're a brand. Like Kevin has to curate what he puts out on his Instagram feed because he's Kevin. Like I'm selling Kevin to everybody right now.
Or the at name could just be something regular as Kevin likes pizza.
Yeah.
And now you're getting deals with all the pizza places.
Yeah, now you're the pizza guy.
Now you have to like pizza. Now it's your life. If you don't eat pizza, you don't survive.
Golden handcuffs.
I need that LaCroix sponsorship, man. LaCroix people.
Oh, I love LaCroix.
Oh my God.
This is not sponsored.
I love it.
But LaCroix, look at this. Think about this. This could be sponsored. I could do an ad read for you every day. Think about it.
Skip Bayless. Skip.
Not with the LaCroix. That's crazy.
I like Perrier more than LaCroix, but you know,
I've started drinking completely. I don't even like the flavors anymore. Like I just drink completely, just like sparkling water.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I love it.
Y'all dudes love the taste of Velcro and shit like that.
It's great, man.
TV static
or like
in your mouth,
or
like,
lime Velcro.
Lime Velcro.
I like it when it seems like a fruit like sneezed in my water.
Oh
like
my God. Jesus Christ.
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of wild. But
somebody mentioned a lemon in the other room, and like.
Anyways, moving on from that. So in this interim period, though, you know, you're realizing like, oh, I'm a brand or type of deal. So does that change like how you're moving, how you're presenting yourself in front of people?
Yeah, because then that's when I start. After I had dropped this mixtape called What Tomorrow May Hold, and I was going into this next mixtape called Thanks for Nothing, which was kind of like a breakout thing for me, because then it was my first post on Complex, and around that time, if you was on Complex, you was like a big deal, you know. And they put me on there like ones to watch list, and I started growing my hair out. Like I was on Greg Street, like on V103, playing songs back to back from the mixtape. So I was like breaking out. I was like, oh, I'm getting there. But people noticed my hair a lot. I had a high top, and I grew it because I was going through something at the time, and I was just so sad. And I went to the barbershop. This sounds so weird, but my barber was like, "Hey man, what do you want to do with your hair?" I was like, "Man, I honestly don't know, but I don't want to cut it all off." He was like, "Man, I could give you a high top like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?" I'm like, "Man, whatever." Like, just do it. So he do it, you know. And then I started growing my facial hair out, like my beard, stuff like that. And it just kind of connected. I had went into like the T-Mobile store, and this lady was like, "Oh my God, you look really like handsome. Like your hair, the way it's shaped and the way it connects to your beard, you look like a king. Like you look like a." And my ego was like,
I was about to say, yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, this high top has to be perfect every day." So I would get up in the morning, put water on it, shape it, whatever. And then that became the thing. That became like kind of like my brand.
Yeah.
You know, my high top, my hair.
And we talk about that with Freddie a lot. That like everybody needs a gimmick. You need you're that guy. But you need to exist outside your gimmick. You need you can't just be the hair. You can't, but like, and that's what you're doing with the robe. Like, if you were just some guy in a robe, nobody would give a fuck. But you're the guy in the robe that raps and like, oh, you're the robe guy.
Yeah.
Like,
so when I put on a robe, I'm kind of like representing you because you like robes and stuff. Oh, I'm like this, you know, when you're just wearing a robe.
Now I'm interested because this almost bumps into like a whole like cultural conversation about like, you know, the importance of hair and how we, you know, things like that. So did you ever kind of feel, I mean, I know you eventually, obviously you changed your hairstyle, but did you ever feel like stuck? You were like, oh my God, like I have to keep this hairstyle and like this, that, and this. And
that's
you
why
were,
I changed it.
Was it tough? Like, was it hard to make that jump or?
Hell no.
Okay.
Because, well, it would have been if it was like 2019, but I dropped like almost there right before the pandemic.
Right.
So it's 2020. So all the barbershops were closed. So I'm like, yes, I could do it now. I could just keep growing my hair out and just get braids.
Yeah.
Cool. Nobody's gonna care because we all been sick for the whole year.
Right.
So, you know, this has been a crazy year. So, hey, look, guys, came out of quarantine with braids.
Whole new look.
Yeah. So I just
did that signify to you also like this is a step in my career as well?
Because now I was like, I wanted to be more about my music and what I'm saying in my music. You know, like, because when I had the high top and stuff, as silly as it is, like, sometimes I would end up rapping about high top, like, you know, and people would see me as like, you know, the hair, and then I would do the thing when I perform and on stage, I look like I'm getting a lineup. People loved it, and I loved doing it. I loved shocking people's minds, but I didn't want to be known for just that.
Right.
You know, so I was like, all right, if I just either cut it or get braids and really just put more into my music, that's what it's gonna be about. And then I could just venture into everything else I want to do.
And it's funny you say that. Like, I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm kind of stuck with the long hair right now. I'm still enjoying it, but it stresses me out a lot.
Yeah.
And but I realized what I was weird is just getting older, right? Your hairline starts changing and shit starts moving around. It gets a little freaky. But I realized I was trying to rely. I want to just be like a cute guy. I was like, that's gonna be my gimmick. Like, I'm gonna be just this kind of like handsome guy out here, like, cause I was trying to be 22 and getting all the like the just getting like the college girls. I was like, I'm gonna be like this guy.
He's like, oh, he's strange. He got long hair.
Yeah, and I want to be the guy that like people have like obsessions about and shit. I was like, I'm gonna be, but I was like, so that's gonna be my thing. I was like, but I was like, shit, that doesn't age well at all. Like, you age out of that shit really quick.
Yeah, if you don't know what else to do with it. Yeah.
And that's just societally, it's kind of weird, like everybody's relationship with aging and how it goes. Like, I remember a lot of the shit, like the first signs of aging I had at like 23, 24. That's like the first one that wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
And was freaking out about it, and what I realized is I was like, oh, what I'm really freaking out about is that like a high school girl is gonna look at me and be like, oh, he's gross. And then I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, what? But you realize you're like, you kind of get conditioned to it, and that was a big wake up call to me. I was like, this is dumb. This is dumb. Let me move on with my life.
Let me do what I want.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Perfect. So I want to transition a little bit. I want to talk about a period in time of your life where you were living out of the studio.
Yes.
How did we even get to that circumstance?
So that's end of 2018. We were living in a apartment in Dorville. Yeah. And around that time was when I started working over at Tree Sound, like rapper. There was like a management situation that I can't too much talk about like in that aspect, but as far as like living there, we started working on Missy's project, and we would have to be at the studio on a lot of days that I would have to work. Willie too, you know, and it was kind of like, you know, our jobs are starting to trip on us, like, yo, like, we need you guys here, you know. Well, he had a different job, but they were both saying the same thing. He was working at Harold's Chicken on Edgewood. I was working at the Hilton Garden Inn on Marietta Street, like washing dishes and stuff. So I wasn't able to keep going back and forth. And, you know, our management at the time was like, well, you guys could live out of here and just work, try to figure it out at the time. So we just moved into the studio. We had a small, like, space. He had his space over there. Like I had a space in the studio over here. We had to like climb down like a ladder. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, because I was gonna say what is I mean, people hear about studio life as an artist, but what is studio life like as a resident?
It is so weird. Let me tell you, it was the weirdest time, but fun. It was fun, but a very weird time because, you know, when the studio doesn't have too many like windows, and you know, Tree Sound is like a huge studio. You know, it's a legendary studio, and we're in there, and we're like, well, we live here, so if we got a free room to work out, if Thug not here like recording and shit, we could work it out of this room. If so and so not here, we could work out of this room. So we would like literally be working at random times. It could be like 10 at night to 5 in the morning or something like that. And you know, you go to your little space in the studio and you wake up and it's close to night. You didn't even see morning, you know? Or there'd be times where, you know, like you walk out and it's morning, and you know, or you step back out and it's nighttime. You know, it was just weird. Like your concept of time is just different. And then there's always like a celebrity up the hallway recording, and you know, celebrities, they go nonstop till morning. We was there a lot of when Thug was recording So Much Fun.
Okay.
So it was a lot of energy in that studio. There's you know, a lot of the members would be in like different studio rooms, and everybody's like working. Like Thug like really works. He like works. And you know, you would get to hear like little music in the hallway before it comes out. You know, like, oh snap, man, they about to take over the city. Like this about to be crazy. You know, you get to hear what people working on. And it was a crazy time, man. The Dreamville stuff, that's a whole nother story.
I was about to say that. Yeah, your time coincides with the
with that.
The Dreamer sessions.
Yeah, because I met Cole. My management had introduced me to him because the night that he went in there to hear the beat for A Lot, 21.
Yeah,
that was the night, because in the verse he says, I just came back from Atlanta, man, da da da, before he starts rapping his verse. No, I literally met him before he got in the car.
Wow.
And they had told him, yo, if you want, you could record Revenge of the Dreamers here in Tree Sound. And 2 weeks later, we got the word that, yo, they're coming here. And then once they got there, all the artists had their producer friends come in, and then they just started inviting everybody. So every rapper was in there. So now not only are we living in the studio, but we're waking up and we're going in the other room and J. Cole is just standing in the kitchen. Or you go around the corner, Big Crit is just kicking it. And Jid and Shmino and Buddy's in there, and they just kicking. Or you can see like Wop Dad coming through the hallway. You can see Ari. And,
I have a silly question. Yeah. Now, was there ever a moment like you saw people like, you know, chilling, hanging out, whatever, and you're like, yo, that's my bed. Like I sleep there. Like, can y'all?
No. Cause our stuff. So it was like away from everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it was away from everything. It was like this cubby space. Like there's this rehearsal room, and they have all the drums at the top. It's way different now. Like Tree Sound is under different new people and stuff. But at the top, you got to climb up the ladder, and they keep like equipment back there. So it was two different sides. Like Willie had to sleep on the other side. Like I'll be over by like the drums and shit like that. So you got to climb down the ladder. So nobody could go up there. Nobody could record up there. No, we was away from everybody.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they weren't intruding on your sleeping area.
And then most of the time we were in the studio room anyway. So yeah.
Just a fangirl for a minute. That's really cool. You met Big Crit. He's my dream like feature, or I make beats as well. My dream placement, like Big Crit.
Yeah.
No one does it like Crit. And
man, we grew up on Crit. Like when I got my license, the first thing I played was Returning Forever, because it came out literally like 2 months before I got my license. You know, before I graduated. Like Crit. The man.
And I feel like his name doesn't come up in the conversation enough. Like when people are talking about people at whatever level, like Crit never, you always have to like bring Crit in as an afterthought.
Even in the Southern rappers conversation, you still have to.
Because I think he's just so like, he's like Mississippi Delta Southern rap, like really down there.
You know what I think it is though? He's so him, like you just said just now, but also the fact that people don't bring him up enough, but when they do, it's in high regard. That makes him even more of a legend. Because it's kind of like you want people to bring up like Mos Def a lot, you know, or Yasin Bey as he calls himself now. But in the way they talk about it when they do, it's like, yo, when you talk about him, it's a respectful thing.
And that's I don't see people hate on Crit the way I see, and like I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention to it much in like 2012, but like I look at how you bring up people like J. Cole, and everybody has an opinion one way or the other.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people base their whole personality on hating the guy.
Yep.
People don't do that to Crit. No. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I got to meet him in passing. I didn't get to like sit and really like chop it up with him, but he was there, you know. Everybody was there. Everybody.
So taking that into account, you know, not just the Dreamville sessions, but just your whole tenure at Tree Sound, what is something that you feel like you've taken from like all these artists that you've worked with, these environments? What is something you've taken from that and you bring to all the sessions you do afterwards?
Work ethic. We was already working a lot, but when we were living in the studio, we had nothing else to do. We didn't really have money like that. We couldn't just go out and eat, and then Tree Sound is deep out there in like Duluth, something like that. It's the other side of Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, basically. So, you weren't just going to the city like that. You had to have a thing to really do. And all we did was just work, make songs. So the songwriting got better. And I think that's what I mostly took from it. So when I go into sessions now, it's like, oh, you guys are ready? All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. I don't waste no time.
Now it's interesting. Our guest yesterday, this was a topic we ended up talking about, that you find that work-life balance. Like, where is your relationship with like grinding right now? Like, is that something that you still try to like put in your work process, or are you trying to be like, okay, I want to kind of balance it? Like, I want to work hard, but I don't want to be working constantly.
Yeah, see, right now it's weirder. Just cause like I had a crazy year, like I had a lot of crazy stuff go on. So I been getting back to like the reality of things. Cause when all you do is music, you kind of forget about like other things. Like, you haven't talked to a certain family member in a long time and stuff. And there's so much time you spent away from that. And then it so when you go away from your music a little bit, then getting back to it is a whole nother thing. Cause I really did this 24/7. So when you're trying to get back to things that really matter, like really lock in and on that, then you kind of start to look at, all right, okay, now when I do something, I have to be very intentional with it, with my time. Grinding is great, but I have to work smarter, not harder nowadays. Especially with me growing and getting older, like it's just more like I gotta make it make sense.
And that's, I get an analogy I'm gonna try here. The grinding, right? That's how you sharpen a blade. You get that stone spinning, and you
sharpen that pen,
But you can also grind whatever that blade is down to the point where it literally doesn't even it's all sparks and it's gone.
Yes.
But you can't
work yourself out.
But you can't sharpen that shit if you aren't grinding.
Yeah.
And
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, balance. Yeah, that's what I'm still to answer that like fully, like I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still trying to figure out that balance. Yeah.
Beautiful. So after this Tree Sound time, you with all this knowledge you've had, you finally decide to like make your first album.
Yeah.
So what makes this process like, if you're going, let me slow down.
Yeah.
Was your intention at the time like, okay, this is going to be my first album? And if it was, what made the process differently than all the other projects you've worked on?
Because this time I was like, I want to take those steps to make it like an album. Like I'd seen all of my favorite artists and how they were working on their debuts and stuff like that. And now, cause I worked on it mostly when I was living there too at Tree Sound. And I'm meeting new people like Kenny Bartow, who used to be on like Justice League and stuff. And we're working on stuff, and he's bringing strings into my music and all of these. He's bringing real instruments, and so I'm like, oh yeah, all right, so I'm really making an album. Like I'm making an album. There's like
Strings will do it to you.
Yeah, they're like
Strings and horns.
strings, horns, live drums, all of these things, you know. And I'm like, and then I'm in a professional recording studio. I'm so used to recording in like a living room or my bedroom, which I prefer more, you know, because it's more comfortable and stuff like that. But I'm in a real studio room, and I'm really doing things, and we're really messing with these boards and messing with all of these different things. And I'm like, okay, we're making a project. Let's definitely be very intentional about this. So yeah.
So I'm interested with I've always the beat that connected with me, like my childhood beat was the Remember the Name beat. That cello, the Fort Minor song, they used it in the promo for the Karate Kid movie. Jaden Smith, the
Are you ready?
Yeah, 10% luck, 20% skill type beat, and like
wow.
Because I grew up playing traditional Irish fiddle.
Oh,
that's been my shit, and I'm kind of new into making rap, but it was always string beats, horn beats. I did marching band, all that, like live instruments.
That's nice.
And,
that is fire.
And then I got away from it when I started rapping. I was like, okay, well, I need like these hard ass trap beats, like 808s, boom, 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 and now I'm realizing like I've done my first show, and I'm like, this was cool, I had the beats and whatever, but like I want to start playing with bands.
Yes.
I fucking love rap with a live band behind it.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
First time I performed with a band, I felt on top of the world. And I performed with a band under one of the most craziest situations ever. So like 2016, I was like happily a part of the 20th anniversary of the Outkast AT album, and for A3C they did like the show, like the tribute show, and they would select different artists. They had selected artists, and you had to practice with their band the song that you were given. So me and Forte, you know, shout out Forte Bowie, he did Wheels of Steel, and I think I did Big Boy's part. So we get on stage and we're rapping, and it's a sea of people just vibing, and I'm killing it. I'm like, yes. And the band behind is just doing their thing, and you know, it's on drums and on the, you know, and then we're getting to near the end of the song, and I'm shouting out, make some noise, make some noise for the guitar, my guy on the guitar, make some noise for that drum, you know. So it was great, man.
I guess the energy is amplified, because if it's just you and the DJ or whatever, it's like, you know, I feel me. Maybe the DJ's turning up, but when there's actual other people back there playing, now I can look back and see them. Oh, he's jamming.
Yeah.
She's getting it.
Yeah.
And you
gotta be on your thing.
Yeah.
You look at the difference between like an Earth, Wind, and Fire show.
Yeah.
Like that shit is exciting because there's like 50 people up there. Like you're just like,
man.
This is what, like I don't even know what I'm listening and seeing everything.
You're experiencing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're experiencing it.
Yeah. So you put together this first album, you put it out, and then COVID.
Yeah. It's literally like that, how you said it.
Yeah. So obviously it changes things.
Yep.
But I'm assuming you had a plan for like, okay, we're gonna do all these things, we're gonna have a rollout, we're gonna performance, this, that, and this. So how did you go about still keeping the fire going when that happened?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I did. I was so like, cause you know, COVID was it was really right there at that beginning. You know, it wasn't like, oh, we're putting this album out in September. By September in Atlanta with COVID, you had ideas on how to do things. By September, you had, you know, like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that. But we literally dropped it not knowing what COVID was. COVID is declared, you know, it's like a state of emergency, like the end of the week. We drop it March 11th. That was a Wednesday, you know, 2020. And I think Friday or maybe that Monday after that, that's when it's like, all right, quarantine everybody, you know, shut down, locked down, streets are like deserted. And so we had no idea what was going on, and we thought, like, you know, not to make it dark, but we thought everybody's gonna die. Like, you know, we was like, oh wait, are we about to die?
This is the end. Like,
is this the end? Because we ain't never seen Atlanta empty, you know, and it was scary.
Except when there's snow. It's the only other time you'll see it.
Yeah. That's the only other time you'll see it, you know, and
but we thought the world was ending then too. So
oh yeah. We it just felt like the end of days, you know. And then people were just dying like left or right, and you know, it was scary. So we didn't really have time to like link up with, you know, director and, you know, oh yeah, all right, this is the next phase. This is the next phase. We just kind of had everything up to when it releases. Yeah. So yeah.
So you just kind of just kept it moving.
Yeah, we kept it moving. What I did was I kind of did this thing with like almost there stories, where shout out to Eric, like our graphic guy over at East Shane, our art guy, and I was like, yo, I have this idea while we're all in the house, like just have everybody tell their stories, you know, like whoever does media, rappers or whatever, and we would post their photo and their almost there story. Yeah. You know, moments they felt almost there. So that kind of kept the music going. I shot a video for 4 Roses, like top of the next year. I put out a few other songs, you know, in between just to keep things going. I got braids. Yeah.
So could you pinpoint a moment though where you were like, I mean, despite everything going on in the world, at what point were you like, I think we're gonna be okay?
I think when I started wait, what you mean with my music
or
career? My career. Oh
yeah. Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna be okay. I think when I started releasing music again that October, and I had a rollout for just the songs I was, you know, dropping, just singles I was dropping, and the art direction was so dope. It was like we never stopped, you know. It just kind of kept going, and people could tell like I'm going in a new direction, but it was making them go back to Almost There. And then there's the show Letterkenny, and Letterkenny, and then
Powder.
Yeah, and they played my song in it. You know, they chose one of my songs, It Dance. That was intended. It was intended for Almost There, and it dropped before Almost There. But it made people still go back to my album, Almost There.
Do you know what season that was in?
So it was, I think, crap. I had it. I had it. I'm not sure. So the episode is they're in like they play it at the end of the episode where I guess they tell like everybody, yo, you guys can come to the bar or something. Like I guess it's like a slow. It was supposed to be like a slow night, or nobody was supposed to show up to the bar or something. And then by the end of the episode, they all come to. I don't know if is it season 3 something, or is it?
I'll find it. My girlfriend's really into the show, so I got to brag later.
It premiered. Just know it premiered in 2020 in December.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
December 2020.
December 2020.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. So
I
now
got the name of the episode. Yeah.
So now we're getting towards the end here. And I have a personal question for you. You don't have to answer if you don't want to,
Absolutely.
But let's see. So
yeah.
At the end of 2020, around November 2020, my father passed away. And I don't know, I guess you could sort of say I am still kind of processing that.
Yeah.
But in the immediate aftermath of that, I wanted to just kind of disconnect from everything. Like I just took a month off, just going straight zero dark. I didn't really look on social media. I didn't really whatever. And I kind of find myself like just falling back into things that I hadn't really dealt with or dabbled in a long time, but I guess they kind of brought me some comfort. So I started like watching movies again. I got back into wrestling. I wasn't watching wrestling for like years and years, and got back into that. And then, but I was still kind of feeling a little lost and things like that. But I kind of felt that when I got back into the arts, whether it was podcasting or making, you know, freestyles or anything like that, I kind of felt that kind of brought me back, so to speak, into spirits. It kind of let me get off some things. And then even in the writing, I would come to some epiphanies and be like, damn, like, okay, like, you know, things like that. So I wanted to ask you, because I know you've dealt with a loss pretty recently.
Absolutely.
And I want to ask, how did your art kind of help you in that situation?
So I lost my mom like March 25th. Like, you know, this year. And I was done with music. Like I was like, man, I'm not doing this anymore. You know what I mean? Because my mom was like a big like driving force in my music. Like I gotta do this to take care of her. And so I don't know. I kind of just shut off. I did. I shut off from everything. And Willie was like, he was like, yeah, I know you don't want to do this, but just know, like, I'm here for you, And whenever, like, work at your time, at your pace, And whenever you feel like you wanna start again, like, I got you. So I think I had her funeral was like April 6th, I think, April 5th or 6th, and went up to New York. That's where she was staying, where she had passed, and went up there, went to the funeral, came back to Atlanta the next day, and I made the song Multiply, because I don't know, I was just like angry as well, just trying to just confuse and just anger and just all these things. And he was playing the beat, and I was like, man, let me try something. Made Multiply, and then after that I made another song like Silk Robe. And Willie was like, yo, man, I think people need to like hear these songs, and it's summertime, it'll probably feel good for you, man, like put out some songs, and the energy is right for the people, like, it's on you what you want to do. And I'm like, I don't care. So we just we put it together. Willie mastered, Out for Delivery EP that came out July 13th, and it was Multiply, Play Your Part, Silk Robe. So that was a up moment for me too. That like those few weeks, it felt like, all right, I'm feeling the support of people, and I'm feeling like love, and so I definitely still have my days a lot, for sure. And this weekend is her birthday on Sunday, so October 23rd. And so I don't know, I just been like real reflective, and of course my mind been all over the place. So I would say I'm still like figuring it out. I'm still figuring it out. It's still early for me in my case, I think. So yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Well, I'm glad you're handling it well, and and I'm glad you have a good support system around you.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you being vulnerable enough to
talk
about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know I talk. I'm personal in my music too, so I know when it happened, people knew how much she had meant to me. And I know they were expecting me to like, yo, you okay? Like, you talk, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, it's okay, because I want to show people like, yo, I'm human. And, you might be going through the same thing, or like you said, what you were going through. So I'm getting to that thing where it's like, all right, maybe I could watch movies now,
Yeah.
Like I could figure things out, like, because it also showed me that there was more outside of music that I wasn't doing. I wasn't really going out like that. So now I be going to places, just, finding new little spots and stuff to chill, hang out, vibe, find new things, look at new aesthetics, just figure out, energy. Yeah.
Just improving your relationship with life.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
So I want to end on some industry shit a little.
Yeah.
I know in myself, I'm really, really bad with names and faces.
Yeah.
I gotta meet people 3 or 4 times, and then I'm like, oh, right. And then I remember all the other times, but like, I'm really, really bad. And I realized that is not, I need to fix that if I'm gonna exist in this business.
I do too.
And so, yeah, I was wondering, because I see people that kind of seem to have it all going on. Does that come naturally to you, or did you have to, like, were you always a social, you just remember every person, or did...
Hell no. I don't like... I'm horrible at that too sometimes. It's like I could meet a person 2 times and still see them out and be like, just because maybe the lighting was low, maybe, or maybe we didn't either exchange numbers, or maybe we didn't follow each other or stuff. So I'm a little horrible with that too. But I've been trying to work on that for sure, and just really take time to really know like who you are, what you do. That way, next time I see you, it could be like a cookout, I'd be like, hey, cousin, what's up? So, because I'm trying.
Like, acknowledging that in myself, because I used to get really mad if I got snubbed by people. I'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, we met, I remember there was this one girl that was friends with my roommate in college, and I met this girl like 40 times.
Yeah.
And every time she'd be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I was like, you've been in my apartment 15 times. Like, and I'm like, it used to make, I'm still mad about that.
I would too.
I'm still mad about that. But I realized in general, I like realizing I'm just so bad about remembering who people are,
Yeah.
I stopped getting so upset when people didn't remember who I was. Like,
Yeah.
it let me be like, they probably, like, I don't know, they were probably on drugs last time I met them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. And
There's times I've been drunk before too. So yeah. I remember, man. There's this funny time. I remember I think I was already drinking, and it's crazy. I got to tell this story. I was at Tree Sound. They were having a party. This is the first time I met Kenny. Shout out to Kenny Mason. Big fan of his music too. And I met him, and I'm trying to like hold it down because I'm already a little drunk. And I was like, man, I don't want to seem so weird that I'm like, hey man, what's up, dog? What up? Like, I'm not, I'm not trying to be like, hey man, what's going on? Hey, hi. I'm trying to be like, like calm, professional. Hey, what's going on? You good? Man, my guy. And then I'm like, whew, all right. Because man, I am twisted right now. So yeah, I met a few people like that too. Like, I know how it is, man. We're gonna get through this, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta keep it together.
Dude, and moving to Portugal was the worst part about that. Like, I was the only American my age in the town.
Oh God.
And so literally every single person I meet remembers me because they're like, oh shit, you're the American.
Yeah.
And so every time I'd go out, I'd have all these people come up to me like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
How's it? I'm like, I have no clue.
He's American.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, but I mean, as long as you make the effort to remember, I think that's the most important part. As long as you're like, you're that guy from the thing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's all you need.
keep it vague.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've gotten really good. Just make some noise.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, well, Mike, we've made it here to the end, man. It's been really good conversation. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bookend this here. We started out with the little fun little freestyle or whatever.
Yep.
Now we're gonna end it with a little freestyle, but we want to be a little bit reflective. So, based on this conversation we have, give me 3 words, topics, themes, or whatever that you feel like you've gathered from this, and then we're gonna do a little, a little 16, a little something.
Okay. 3 words from out of this. Oh, wow. Okay, strangers.
Strangers.
Okay.
Strangers. Like not no stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Strangers. College. Last. Oh man. What's the last? I feel like I'm under pressure.
Girls, strangers, and college. 3 things that seem they all go together.
Yeah, that's
Yes. Oh, you know what? Can we switch that last one?
Okay, okay,
that just
okay.
made it a little weird.
Yeah,
Girls,
yeah, okay.
Strangers, college. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Bring it back around. Let me see. Crap. I'm going blank. I would say. Middle school.
Okay, middle school. All right, middle school, strangers,
And college.
Cool. All right.
all right. I got them written down. Now, what kind of beat do we want to do this over?
Let's go Southern Hospitality by Ludacris.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
I figured that's a little, keep it on.
Mm-hmm.
While he's pulling that up, I wanted to share some fun facts with you. So,
Okay.
I know you got your name from a Kanye name generator, right?
Yep.
So I just did well, for one, I couldn't find the Kanye name, so I went back, did a little whole circling. I know one of your favorite artists is Childish Gambino.
Absolutely.
Childish Gambino got his name from a Wu-Tang Clan. So I plugged not only your current rap name, but your first rap name into the Wu-Tang name generator. And just, if you ever got a bar and you're like, damn, like I want to, So for Michael Aristotle,
Okay.
we got Ocular Doge.
What the hell is that?
No clue. Something with
Ocular.
Ocular's eyes
His
and Doge is
yeah.
Doge.
So I probably see things like a different way.
You keep your eyes
See?
on your dogs
See?
and make sure everybody's staying.
Yeah,
in.
ocular.
And then for YTZ,
Oh wow!
right?
Oh,
Right?
my
Because that was the
God.
original one they plugged in.
Holy crap!
We got, I don't even know how to pronounce this word. It's Little Wyvern. I don't know what it means. I probably should have looked it up, but that was something. So If you
Make
ever
a
got
whiskey.
a bar or something, you're like, damn, I don't know, I'm tired of being like, oh, Michael Aristotle.
Yeah.
You can call yourself, I'm Ocular Doge.
Ocular Doge or Little Wyvern.
Little Wyvern.
And is
The
that spelled-
Ocular Doge.
It's WYVERN. Yeah.
W-Y. Okay.
Is it? Yeah, I'm interested to see what that is.
Y.
YVERN.
W-Y.
Autocorrect wouldn't even let me type it sometimes.
Yeah.
It was like, nah. You clearly don't mean this word.
Okay, wyvern. Wikipedia is the first thing that comes up. A wyvern is you're gonna like this. It's a legendary winged dragon that has 2 legs. Wow. So it doesn't. It walks. It flaps, but it doesn't have those 4 legs to.
Okay, so it walks. It.
We'll put this in post on the screen so you all can see it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So there you. Well, now you got a whole nother.
I got wings.
Yeah.
Little Wyvern.
Bam. I love it. Okay, we got that beat pulled up.
We do.
Okay. Strangers, college, middle school. More than happy to jump in if you feel it, but we're just having fun here.
Here we go.
Okay.
Make sure another beat isn't gonna play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh. Yeah, I was running from the top.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Come through, I might go bang on them. No, I come through, I do my thing on them. I'm so dangerous, they strangers to us. But I'ma show you when you come on a gang of us. It get nasty, can't outpass me.
Yeah.
Unwrap me, kinda like candy.
Yeah.
Can't stand me, go and have a seat. We about to cook it up like we making it with the heat. Under the sheet, I don't sleep. I'm no fool, I'm just ready for school. You can meet me in the middle, solve them like a riddle. We about to cook it up just right on the griddle.
Hey, whoa.
Sizzling, I gotta do my thing. I'm coming in, I'm balancing on the beam. I'm trying to think of the other word that we had, and now I got it. I'm about to pull it out of the bag. I got the knowledge, got it from college. No, I'm about to show these boys, I just stay on it. I'm just being too honest, no honest. Got in the bucks, and now I'm finna show these boys how I really be up.
It's time to get ready. Hey, shout out to Freddie.
Hey,
Girls, they be petty.
Petty.
But they don't act like that when they met me.
Nope.
Cause my name too heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah. Used to pull up in a Chevy. Skirt. That was my dad's Malibu.
Yep.
Now we eating out at Malibu.
Hey.
Yeah. And the attitude. Hey. Girls never give me attitude.
Yep.
Middle school, I was like 12. They ain't put me on the shelf.
Nope.
I used to think about Santa and the elves.
Yep.
Wait, that's kinda weird. Let me steer into another direction. Matter of fact, the flow is so perfected. Yeah, so obsessions.
Right?
We used to kick it at obsessions. Now the flow is too obsessive. They too obsessed with Young Michael, so I guess it's my turn. I got wings like Little Wyvern. Yeah. Hey, I'm about to pass it.
Hey, let him know. Tell him, Joe.
I don't know you. You're a stranger.
Okay.
I'm roving around in the Ranger.
Whoa.
Ooh, shit. Sensing danger. I feel it. That's my spidey senses tingling. Ooh. Ooh. And now in college, I'm out here, I'm mingling with the girls. They grow older, they get some curls. Shit. Okay, but I'm gonna bring it back. Here we go.
Shit.
Gotta finish it strong.
Shit.
Hey.
Shit.
Yup. Nah.
Hey, I love it though. Good times, everybody. Good vibes all around. Shout out to Ludacris. Shout out Pharrell.
Shout out Luda.
Woo! Well, that is gonna do it, man. Once again, Michael, man, I really appreciate it. Since you're here at the end, this camera, that camera, this camera, just let the people know where they can find you, where they can find your work, all that good stuff.
All right, man. You can find me on Instagram, Michael Aristotle. SoundCloud, Michael Aristotle. Audio Mac, Michael Aristotle. If you go on Twitter, MIKEY Aristotle. And TikTok, Michael Aristotle. I'm there as well. My album, The Cab, is also coming soon. Eastside.
Okay.
Turn up.
Joe?
You know what's coming. It's that time of the episode.
Uh-oh.
In the description, you will find a playlist with every single beat you heard today. Go check out their catalogs. You heard some cool shit. A lot of these people don't even have any followers. Go be one. Go spend some money. Go make this community possible. You want music? you gotta pay the fucking musicians, man. Go in there, go tell your friends, and, you know, have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that is going to do it from over here on this side. Once again, I want to thank my boy Michael for coming through, being open, honest, and just having a good time here with us. And I want to thank Joe for doing what you do on the ones and twos. Yes. And of course, I want to thank all of you for tuning in, listening, watching, however you're here today. We're just happy you're here. So tune in next time where we're going to have somebody sitting in Mike's seat and we're going to be mixing it up. Have a good one, everyone.